And now, at the end, how to find the notes. Now, first of all, you have to really be aware of the tuning of your own instrument. So a Tagelharpa might have a different tuning depending on the materials, who built it. So first of all, check in with your manufacturer, whoever built the instrument for you, and ask them, what is the standard tuning of my Tagelharpa? They will tell you the first string is tuned in, I don't know, E something, the second in A, and the third in E something, or C, or whatever. You can write those down, keep that in mind. You probably already know them if you bought the instrument, I don't know. People have different experiences. That's the first thing you have to keep in mind. For example, I change my tuning very often depending on the project I'm recording for, my own projects, or commissioned by composers or anything. So I have to be aware of that before I think about where the notes are along the string. And the type of string, because I find that horsehair string are the most difficult to work with. So if you have horsehair string on your own instrument, you need a little bit more patience. Don't mind it too much if the accuracy of your notes aren't like 100 perfect. I think this is also the beauty of this instrument, that it doesn't have to be exactly perfect like if it was auto-tuned. Whoever was playing folk instruments or traditional instruments in the past definitely was not going there with like a tuning app and checking the exact notes every single minute they were playing. So I think this is also part of the soul of this instrument. So this is like, before we start thinking about notes, this is something you have to keep in mind overall about how notes work on the Tagelharpa. Now, once again, I will give you two methods for finding notes on the Tagelharpa. One is the adventurer method, and the other is the strategic method. Let's give it an RPG kind of feeling. Now, I personally go for the adventurer method, mostly because, as I was saying, I change tuning very often, so it's just easier for me, and I'm lazy to do the other method, as you will see soon. So let's say right now I'm playing a project, and this string is tuned in F. But usually it's tuned in E. I've also played it in D, so the notes of course will change accordingly, because if I play this without anything and this note right here is F, the next note along the string will be F sharp, and so on. But if I went and tuned this string to E, of course the next note, by putting my fingers on it, would be F and not F sharp anymore. So that would change everything along the string accordingly. So you have to keep, of course, if you're not familiar, you don't have to be expert in music theory. I haven't studied music theory professionally. I have some basic knowledge of it. You just need to know the order of notes and what they're called to do this. So it's not too complicated. It just takes a lot of practice with the instrument, as with any instrument you want to learn to play. Since I change tuning a lot of the time, what I do with the adventurer method is I just figure out the notes as I learn the melodies that I have to do. So any melody you're playing on any instrument, you have to learn it, or and maybe you're sight reading it, but personally I don't really see a method of notating, especially for the Tagelharpa. Usually I play a lot by ear. I like it. It gives me a lot of freedom to do like with my own instincts and add my own personality as a player and performer. Maybe I have a melody that I'm arranging, or I'm given a melody by someone. They give me the melody as it is. I read the melody, and then I have to practice how to play the melody on the instrument. What I do is just as I play the melody, this of course becomes easier and easier the longer you play the instrument. Let's say, I don't know, the melody is 3 notes. I have the string tuned in F, maybe the other notes are G and B. I know that G maybe is, I'm just guessing right now, G is around here and B is around here. I know that F is the note played without any fingers on it, so I will play F and then G and then B, and then let's go back, G and then F. And then I just go back and forth and practice it with the we can talk about the tempo or at another time. Let's just focus on the notes right now. So this method, the adventure method, is just playing by ear and figuring out the notes depending on your tuning at that moment. Maybe you have a piano or a piano app on your phone. There's tons of free piano apps on your app store. You can get as reference. So that is an easy method, maybe a little more time consuming if you're not very used to playing all the time or to how notes sound. But it is one method. The other method is meant for those who are mostly planning to use their instrument with only one tuning and not changing around that much. And that can mostly be recommended for beginners as well. For, you know, once again, getting comfortable with the instrument, getting used to how it sounds, getting used to the notes, to the playing and everything. And after some time, you can start again experimenting with it. This method is mostly about the setup. After that, it takes practice, of course, like everything else, but you have done most of the job already, and you will need a pen and this kind of tape that is mostly, you know, paper-based, I will say. I don't know how it's called in English, but you can easily recognize it by seeing it. And what you do is you have your string tuned in F. Let me put this away for a second. So you have your string tuned in F, and you know that you have found that F sharp is here, the next available note on string. You take your tape, you take a little bit of it. Of course, it's not coming off correctly. You put it on the wood along the spot where F sharp is supposed to be, and you just write F sharp right there, and it becomes a reference. Now, of course, if you start playing on this other string as well, I don't see people mostly playing here, but mostly on these 2 strings, depending on how complicated the melody might be. You can do this for the second string on this other side. It might be a little complicated to see. You can write it on the inner corner, which from this angle is more visible. And then you just go along. You have your piano app, your tuning app, whatever. You play slowly, and once you find along the string the next note, which is, let's say now we're G, we said that, for example, G is here, you put your other piece of tape and write G. And every time you have to first tune the note so that is F, and then you have your references here, as you would do on a piano, you know, by putting the tape on the notes until you are comfortable with where the notes are, and then once you remember and your body remembers, your hands remember where they are, you pull it off and you play without them. So this is the second method. I hope it helps you along your journey in learning this beautiful instrument. If you have other questions, let me know in the comments. It also helps a lot if you like and subscribe to help me grow the channel. Let me know how it goes with your practice, and let's meet in another video soon. Bye bye.